Okay, part two of the RAS 180E, that's what it was called. I didn't even bother to see what it was even called. I think I was dying, I think the dust got to my head. Now, obviously I didn't die of the dust because I'm here doing part two of part one, because I felt I had to do part two. I found out the reason why the dust extraction was so bad is I had the dust extractor turned down to its lowest setting, and this thing was pumping out a lot of dust, and obviously it just wasn't coping. So I'll go back and I will give you another demonstration based on what I believe is the normal dust extraction, and probably I won't die of dust inhalation in between. So I'm still not putting on my fancy helmet because I've got confidence in it. So I'm going to turn it down now. Here's a bit of rough messmate. Well, you just have to take my word it's rough, because you can't taste it or touch it or whatever. And now this is an 80 paper on it, so we'll start again. And by the way, if you see me messing around with this trigger, that's because I just forget the sequence. I haven't used this one for a while. I don't use it much. It's there when I need it, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pull the trigger on first underneath, under here, and then you can push the button down and then it locks it down, and then you can just do it. So I think I'll just stop trying to do that and actually just try and sand. Now, yeah, you would have seen a little bit of blowout of dust. The initial blowout of dust was the dust that was still inside that. That's what I believe this residue was there, because now, and it's also a bit of an art of where this brush goes. It's trying to find your way around to finding the right spot for this brush, the sweet spot. I'll turn it down. Anyway, that's beautiful and smooth. It's absolutely easy peasy, and I'll now get this with this has got a 120 paper in, because the thing is, because it's actually a swirling motion, like a typical orbital sand, like an orbital disc. It doesn't oscillate, it just spins around just like a normal. See what we can find there. Absolutely smooth as a bit of velvet, that. And that's just with the 180 paper. So there's nothing wrong with the sander, it's just the user. As they say, it's not, there's no such thing as bad weather, it's inappropriate clothing. Right, so how many of these can we sell you? No, look, it probably throws out a little bit of dust around there. There's not a hell of a lot compared to what you saw before. Now, can you imagine if got no dust extraction on whatsoever? There's a lot, because it's actually a grinder in effect. Again, it can do metal as well. But I suppose demonstrating on a small piece like this is probably a little bit more difficult. But when I used it on a very large area, like a tabletop or something, It's absolutely fantastic, and generally most of the dust stays pretty much on the actual tabletop itself, or very little gets thrown around. Probably more prevalent when you see it here because it's a black top, but that's good because you see what the amount of dust is. But look, you know, that's beautiful and smooth, and this is old messmate, recycled messmate, so it's a very hard timber. The other stuff I was using was brush box over here, and that's the RAS 180E with a little bit more finesse than it was originally shown. But you know, you can look, you can use it incredibly aggressive. You can get a 25 paper, which is incredibly aggressive. You can really, I've played around with that, where you can actually almost carve the wood when you're using the 180. I mean, it just really rips into it. And then if you work through and down through your grades, you get to an area where the Rotex 150 or the Rotex 90 or even some of the other orbital sandals can then start to take over from that point to get rid of the swirl marks, because you know this thing is quite aggressive and will probably leave, especially if you go from a 25 then a 40 and then an 80 or a 60 then an 80, you'll start to take those swirl marks out. But nonetheless, when you use a Rotex 150 or the orbital sanders, you'll then start to work down those swirl marks, and you won't see any swirl marks at all. I've done quite a bit of stuff with this before. Done some tabletops with it as well, and it's a godsend. It's really used for more aggressive, trying to level things off when the other ones are having a battle. And Australian hardwoods, for you guys overseas, some of this recycled Australian hardwood, it's damn hard. I mean, it's really hard. Like I did a table which was from 150-year-old messmate, which is our eucalypt tree, which is a very, very, very hard timber. And this was 150 years old. This stuff is dead set. It's almost like rock. You know, it's that hard and so dense. It's pretty brutal on all the blades and everything like that as well, for cutting and sanding. But let me tell you, it's going to last a million years because it's virtually about one stage away from rock. All right, guys, until I can think of something else to show you or talk to you about, keep asking those questions. I'm probably, if you want to know anything about any kind of FESTOOL tool, just let me know. I've probably more than likely got it. And I kind of just want to give informative videos where I just sort of show you. I mean, I'm not an expert, I'm an amateur. I just enjoy it, and I just sort of show you from an amateur's point of view, an amateur with professional tools. Sort of what's going on there. It's probably making stuff better than I normally would. That's what I found. But anyway, shoot any questions that you have, and I'll try and think of something else to put up on a video if you can be bothered watching it. See you later, guys. Bye.